Hello, and welcome to this problem number 843. Guess the word. So, this is, as the problem says, it's an interactive problem which is new to the Lead Code platform. Now, when you talk about an interactive problem, you might not have heard of an interactive problem because that is something which is rather new. So, I'll explain everything. But this is a kind of problems which are generally not that famous in coding interviews, but they are getting famous gradually. And in contests like the ACM, ICPC, like in other contests, I feel that this are the kind of problems which are getting more popular, and these are the problems which you will see more of, as these test a lot of your abilities, not just your competitive coding skills. So this is actually one of the most requested videos on the channel. 843, guess the word. A lot of people have requested it, and I myself see that there is no proper YouTube video which actually teaches you the entire problem and also talks about the mathematical explanation to the problem. So I have actually worked very hard. I've worked for 3 days to make sure that I give you the best possible explanation to this problem, and also give you the mathematical analysis which will be at the end, the entire mathematical analysis of how this problem works, right? So if you basically just care about the solution, you can skip the last part, but I strongly recommend that you take the part at the end. It's slightly teeny more mathy, but I feel that is a very interesting segue to things like probability, things like strategy, which can be very useful in other problems as well, right? So without any further ado, without making any hype, let's get started with this problem. The problem is you know so what is the problem? The problem is that you're given a word list of unique words. Each word is 6 letters long, and one word in the list is chosen as a secret. First thing, very important to understand this question. What is this question? The question is very simple. You are given a list of words. What are you given? You're given a list of words. You're given a word one, word two, word two, word three. You are given a word n, right? Word n. This n can be very large. Like you don't know how long or large this n is. It will be in the bound, but there is no fixed n. The only thing which we know is that the size of this word, that the size, it's 6 characters long, right? Each and every of this word is 6 characters long, right? That is what we know about this problem currently. uh, you know so now is, and one of the words, yes, what that is what the other thing which we know is one of out of all of these words, let's say this w3, this w3 is, let's say, chosen as a secret, right? Now you don't know which is a secret, but it is internally chosen as a secret. This is the interactive element, right? Now there is this is a master function, master dot guess. So this master API interface which is implemented, and it has this guess methods, and we can call this master dot guess methods, right? And the guessed this word should have a type string, and it must be from the original list with 6 lowercase letters, right? So that is one thing. The function returns an integer type representing the number of exact matches, value and position, right, of your uh, guess to the secret word. Also, if your guess is not in the given word list, it will return -1 instead, right? Yes. So for each test case, you have 10 guesses to guess the word. At end of any number of calls, if you have made more than 10 or less, like if you at the end of any number of calls, if you have made 10 or less calls, less than 10 calls to master.guess, and at least one of these guesses was the secret, then you pass. Right? So this is actually a mouthful. Let us understand what this is trying to say. Right? I think a black background is better. So what are you given is you're given a list of n words, each of them 6 characters long, and one of them is randomly chosen as the secret. And you don't know what is the secret. Right? Now what it says is that we have this function called master, master dot guess, and this basically this method, it takes in, so you could think of this as a black box. So this is a black box. The master.get method is a black box. It takes in the word, any word which you have, like you can select any word of this. So let's say wi. It takes in a word from this array, whichever you put, and it outputs how many characters match with the secrets, number of matching characters, right? So this is like this, it inputs wi. It's a black box, you don't know what is inside, but it just takes in wi, and it matches the number of characters. Now what we want to do is we want to just call this method 10 times or less and actually guess what the word is. Understood? That is what we want to do. Now let me give you a concrete example so that you understand this well. So for example, let's just look at the examples which these guys have given. So this is the let's say we have text. Let's increase the size a bit, and we have this word list. Right, this is the word list we have. And let's say the secret word, the secret word is um, let's say it is EIOWZZ. Right. Now what actually ends up happening is we don't know what the secret word is. What we know is we just have this list, right? And we are told that there is some secret word and we need to figure out this secret word. Now we have this functionality, this black box, which is this black box in which you could put any of these words. So let's say we put this word, we initially think that this is the secret. So we put ABC, A, B, C. Let's not do this. Let me just have the text here. What word do I put? I put the word A, B, C, right? C, Z, Z. Now, when I put this in the match function, what it will check? It will check whether how many matches are made. So, for example, so see, A, this does not match. No. I and B, they don't match. O and C, they don't match. W and C, they don't match. Z, Z, yes, there is a match. So there is one match. Z, Z, there is another match. So there is another match. So totally, the total number of matches is 2. So when I pass, so if this is the secret, which we don't know that this is the secret, and if we pass, let's say A, B, Z, Z to our function, to our master.guess function, the guess function, what ends up happening is what output comes is 2 because there are two characters which are matching with them. Let's say we pass this method, still this all of these don't match with any of these, so ZZ would come as output. Similarly, according to different things, different outputs will come. For example, if instead of the like let's say instead of the first one, if this one was a secret, right? So let's say let's increase the size of this a bit. Yeah. So instead of this, let's say this one is is the secret. What will end up happening is that let's say this is the secret, right? And we are putting in this. So how many matches? A and A will match. So that is one. Plus C and B. No, C and B will not match. C and C, yes, C and C will match. So plus one. K and C, it will not match. Z will match. Z will match in the end. So total 4 matches, right? So if this is the secret, and if I say guess this thing, I put it in the guess function, the output would be 4 because there are 4 matches to the guess. And if I actually put this thing here into the guess function, it matches exactly. So the output would be 6. So it will be like all of the characters match. And when the output is 6, when all the characters match, we are sure that whatever we have guessed is actually the secret, right? And that is what we want. Now we want to achieve all of this. We would want to achieve all of this in just 10 or less than 10 moves, right? Hopefully I am pretty clear with what all of this is all about, right? So these are like all the examples they have given, that what all they return and what all they don't return, and so on and so forth, right? Yes. So that is the thing. You actually saw how the problem works. Now let's move on and see how we're gonna solve this problem, right? So far so good. Now the one way of solving this problem would be to randomly check. Let's think about the ways you can solve this problem. So approach one would be randomly pick a word from the word list and pass it to the guess function, right? Now if I randomly pick a word from the word list and pass it to the guess function, what ends up happening is that it might work, it might not work. Second time I do a guess again, second time I do a guess again, so on and so forth. And it may so happen that you never find what you ever wanted. So if the total words are less than more than 10, right, if there are like say 100 words, we can only check, then it probably not work, right? Because see, like it's like if I have 5 words, total 5 words, and if I can get do 10 checks, and what is the probability that I've checked every one of them? So the probability that I've checked every one of them is basically more than this is one, right? Because it almost at random you would get every one of them in expectation, right? But what if you have, let's say, 100 words? You just have 10 chances to check through all the 100 words. So it's like the probability of finding the correct word is 1 upon 10 or 0.1. What if there are 1,000 words? The probability even decreases. What if there are 10,000 words? The probability even decreases in expectation. So the idea is that this approach totally does not work, because we cannot just randomly pick words, because as the number of words in the word list grows, this method increasingly becomes bad. Like, you have to do something smartly, right? And the way we do something smartly is the approach to, which is rather interesting. And that is that, let's randomly pick a word from the word list. Now what you do is, after you randomly pick a word from the word list, you know pass uh, it to the guess function. After you do that, this is where it fails, the previous one. So this is the first thing you do is, you know approach to is, you randomly pick this thing, pass it to the guess function. After that, what you do is, you store the output of the guess function and eliminate all the words from the word list not having the same match distance. So what is match distance? Match distance is nothing but whatever this master guess outputs. It's like how, like what are the common, how many common characters are there. So what we can do is, we can just say randomly pick a word from the word list, pass it to the guess function. Whatever it says, there are two characters which are matching this, right? If it says that there are two characters matching it, I take that word and like match like characters with all the other words in the word list. Whosoever does not have two characters, whosoever does not have like out in the entire word list, whatever words who do not have two characters matching, it means that they are not the secret, because the secret has two characters matching. So we can remove all of them, right? So store the guess and eliminate all the words from the word list not having the same match distance. Do you realize? So let's say I selected a word, like you had a list, and this is very important to understand. You had W1, W2, WN, and W, this is the secret, right? Now let's say you selected randomly W5, and you said that what is the match with the secret. So you don't know it is W2, but it will come out is that, let's say what it came out is that there is one match with W2. Now what you do is, you take match W1 with this, you match W1 with this. You don't match it with the master guess function, you write your own matching function, because you cannot use the master guess function, you only have it 10 times. So you match it here, you match it here, you match it here, you match with all of them. Wherever there is match 1, like here, this, let's say this match 0. If it is W2, there is match 1. If there is W3, it's like match 5, let's say example. If there is like match 0, etc. Wherever there is match other than 1, what you do is, you eliminate all of those options, because those options are never going to happen, because we know that from W5 this word is just one inline. And then you have a smaller list, right? After this you have a smaller list, and then you just repeat, right? Because after this, once you have done this, you have eliminated the words from the word list not having the same match distance. You just have a smaller word list where you can repeat this, right? Simple, easy. right? So you have to realize that in this question there is no right answer. You cannot, if I give you a very big word list, I can guarantee you almost that no matter what strategy you employ, you will not able to figure out the right word within 10 tries. You could do that, right? But the point is that this question is not all about the right answer, but this question is about figuring out the right strategy, right? And this is what is really important. That is not about the right answer. This question is about figuring out the right strategy, right? And so for example, one way of doing it would be one, like let's say I have a question with a b b b b b like six b's c c c c c c c c c six d and z z z z z z. No matter what algorithm you apply, no matter what logic you apply, you gonna need 26 guesses to actually figure out what this word is, because it is like 20, like this is random guess. You cannot do better than random guess. So this all of this strategy is not for words like this. All of this strategy is it's for what, it's for randomly. So there's like, beside there will be five additionals with 100 words in the words list. A letter of each word from those test cases are chosen independently random from A to Z, so that every word in the given word list is unique. You realize that the test cases, not only the example list, all the test cases, they are selected in such a way that everything is randomly selected. So you cannot have A, B, 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 C, C, in, created artificially in such a way that all the algorithms fail, and what you can do is just guess. You realize what you want to do is you want to make some sense out of a random a random vector. You want to make sense of some random distribution. That is where all of these strategies are coming. If you are adversarial, which means that if you are trying to make examples which actually the algorithm will fail deliberately, then the algorithms will fail, and then you cannot do anything better than guessing because you don't have any information, right? But if you say that everything is random, then you can learn every time you have you ask for the master dot guess, you learn something out of it, and then based upon that you can move ahead and become better. So this is the approach. So this is actually a really really effective approach, and in the mathematical section we are going to see how effective this is. This actually works phenomenally well, right? uh, there is a better approach, which is approach 3, which is just an improvement over this approach in terms of strategy. And one thing which we basically have to realize is that what is the probability. So now this is a little bit mathy part, but you have to follow. What is the probability? Let me explain you this in a little bit slightly better way so that you can follow. So let's do it a little bit simply. So for example, it's like more like a probability question. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blank spaces. So what you are trying to ask is, what is the probability that given two random words, they have zero matches, right? So you have like 20. This is how many. So this is fixed. So for example, this is the actual secret. So the secret is, let's say, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Now we want to do zero matches. In the entire alphabet, to do zero matches, what is the possibility of this blank? So there are 26 alphabet. This should not be A if you want to do zero matching. So there are like 25 possibilities, right? What is the possibility? It's like there are 25 possibilities. It should not be rest any alphabet would do. There are 25 possibilities here as well. It should not be C. There are 25 possibilities. There are 25 possibilities here, and there are 25 possibilities here, right? Now we multiply 25 into 25 into 25 into 25 into 25 into 25, right? So these are the number of possibilities of this not being a match with this, having zero matches with this. So what is that? This is 25 to the power 6 divided by how many total possibilities of numbers possible here? There are like 26 possible here, 26 possible, 26 possible, 26 possible, 26. So total possibility is 26 to the power, right? So realize that the probability of having zero matches is 25 divided by 26 whole to the power 6. And if you do this, the output would be something like 0.79 something, which is like 79% of the times, or 80% of the times, you gonna have a zero match. So there are no matches that are possible, right? 80% of the times there are no matches that are possible, right? So this is actually a bad configuration to be in, right? So you want to improve some, do something like that, because if there are zero matches possible, what ends up happening is that you just say that there are zero matches, and then you're not able to eliminate as many you're not able to gain as much information as possible. So you just say that there are zero matches, and then when you try to eliminate all the numbers without zero matches, 80% of the numbers will remain, only the rest 20% of the numbers will go, and you don't want to do that. So what you want to do that is, you would want to find a number which has the least number of zero matches, right? You would want to find the number which has the least number of zero. It might have 6 matches, it might have 4 matches, it might have 5 matches. Like, you would want to find out the number which has the least number of zero matches with everybody inside internally, and that number would actually be the number which will go in the guess function, right? So if that number is the number which will go into the guess function, then what will end up happening is that it will not have a zero match. Most probably it will have a match which is not zero, and with everybody else, and all the other matches will be eliminated, right? So this is what is called the mini max approach. 3 is mini max. What we are trying to do is, we are trying to minimize this this collision. So what we are trying to do is, we are minimizing the number of elements we want to keep in the after every iteration. So if, like, every time if the 80% of the numbers are being kept, then we don't want that. We want less numbers to be kept, so that we converge to the actual solutions very fast, right? So we are minimizing what we are minimizing the number of search space, and we are maximizing what we are trying to maximize. The, the zero is the maximize, like it's 80% zero, so we are finding out which of them is actual maximum. So we are like, zero has the maximum possibility of coming, and we are trying to minimize the number of zeros there are, right? It's slightly bit technical than that, but you don't need to know that, because this is the intuition is that you have if it was like, if you selected a random number and it had a zero match, then only 20% of the list will actually be like, it has one or two, any of that. So they'll all go, rest everybody is equal to zero, so you'll have to keep all of them in the list, right? So it's like, you just to do all of this, right? You just to do all of this, but instead of the second thing, randomly don't pick a word from the word list, right? Pick a word, go through the word list, and pick a pair of words which have least number of zero matches. Least number of zero matches, or one match, two match, three match, like whatever, like those like the least number of zero matches, and the least number of zero matches, and then pass it to the guest function. So one of the words, take one of the words, pass it to the guest function. So pass, to basically have a pick a pair, and then choose one word which goes with everything, and it has zero, like, or like it's a very small amount of matches, zero matches. So pass it to the guest function, and then store the output of guest and eliminate all the words from the word list not having the same match distance. Now this time the match distance wouldn't be non-zero, which means all zero, the 80% of all of them will actually get eliminated, and only the very small fraction, the few other fractions will remain, right? That is what we want, right? And we have a very small word list, and when you do it again, it's 80% again, it's 80%, so it'll converge to zero very, very fast, right? So this is what the guess the number problem is all about. It is all about understanding this well, right? Now let us quickly write the code for this, and talk about the complexity, and talk about a lot of other challenges, and we'll later on at the end we'll also talk about the math involved here, right? So first of all, what we want to do is, we would want to understand, we would want to have a candidate array, and we want to iterate through this word list. So first of all, we want to have a function which is match distance, or match distance. It takes in a string w1, takes in a string w2, right? What does it do to these strings? Let me zoom out a bit, so things are better. Or I could, let's say, if you want, I could zoom in a bit, but then yeah. So this is void distance. Now w1, w2, string w2. What it is, I'm just gonna check after every character, what is the distance between w1 and w2, right? So you just say if yeah. So you just simply check if w1 dot size is not equal to w2 dot size. This is just like sanity check. I'll say return -2 because there's something else returning -1, so you just return -2 in safety. You'll never pass in. Everything is 6 digits wrong, so you don't need to worry. This case will never happen, but this is just for sanity checking. Right now, for so this means W1 and W2 are the same size. For right, uh, int I is equal to 0, I greater than W1 dot size, I plus plus. There is this variable called int matches. Uh, we have it 0. Currently we have it 0, and then we say that if there is a match, if w1 of I is equal to w2 of I, what we do is we simply increment the matches. Done. And finally, after all of this is done, we just return matches. Right. Yeah. So this is the distance function. It's a easy distance function. Now what we want to do is we want to find the secret word. Right. Now to find the secret word, what we need to do is we need to, first to make sure that what word should be put in the guess list. So it's a very simple thing. For there's this loop going on for yeah. So what we do is we just say for int I is equal to 0. Just be careful. Int so is equal to 0, match is equal to 0. So match is this one another integer which we are declaring and which we are going to use subsequently in the the implementation. Match is equal to 0. The condition here is until I gets to 10, right? And match is smaller than 6. What is match? Match is actually the output of the master.guess. So if the output of the master.guess becomes 6, right? So if this becomes 6, then we are done. Then I mean we are done. So we just need to exit out of the loop, and then we have given the secret out, right? So whenever the master this becomes 6, or like until 6 is greater, if this is 6 or above, it will never be above, it will be 6 maximum. If it is 6, we are out of the loop, right? What we do is we just increment I on every iteration, right? Yes. So this is all what we've done. Yeah. So this is for match I. Now in this entire loop we will be constructing everything, right? So first of all, what we need to have is we need to have this this unordered map of string and int. Let's call it count. What this will count is number of 0 matches, right? So we just say that for string w1 in word list, right? For string w2 in word list, what we do is we just say if uh, distance means the match between w1 and w2 is 0. If this is 0, what we do is we just say that uh, count of w1, we just say plus plus, right? Because this, like, there is some 0 match with w1, so I don't want to see how many does, like, with respect to this word w1 in the entire word list, how many matches with 0. Wherever this would be minimum, that is the word we are interested in, right? So in guessing, right? Now this is done. Yes. So okay. Word string word list, this is done. Now what we have to do is we have to figure out the minimum. We have counted we have made the list of all of these things in the count array, like in the count ordered map. Now what we do is we just say let's once again have an unordered map of string int. What should we call it? We call it min max, traditionally called this way. We just say this equal to let's say word list, the 0th element of word list, and we say that there are these a big number, some really big number here, right? And these are the number of matches. So what is this unordered map? This unordered map is nothing but word match with count. So this is just a minimum, like the minimum, and this is the, so this is the minimum word, and this is the minimum matching with count. This is the combination that what we want to have. So what we do is we just say that for string w in, so you realize that how important is this this loop, this shortcut of loop, this loop concatenation, how we use it so many times. If we had to use iterators, i's and j's, we would have been crazy by now, right? So this is something which you should take a lot of advantage in C++, right? If you see that the count of w, if this is if you find this to be bigger or equal to minimax dot second, right? So oh, this is not an ordered map, this is a pair, sorry. We could do it, but I think pair would be faster. uh, Pair string in winmax, and we do it this way. uh, if you see that the count of w, the count of w, so which is the count of the word which we are iterating right now, if it's the minimax dot second is basically greater than that, then we know that this count of w is actually smaller. So what we do is we just swap. This is just minimum of a list, right? We, what we do is we just say minimax is make pair. There are a billion ways of doing it. W comma font w, right? Once we do this, once we are able to figure all of these things out, we have the minimax, and after all of this what we have is we have a word which has the minimum number of matchings with zero. So we have a word which is maybe which has a distance of 1, with distance of 2, like whatever, but it has minimum number of pairs which have a zero distance, which means that the secret is out of the pair, it and the secret will have some different output, and that different output will eliminate many more other candidates, right? As simple as that. Now what we do is we just say int master match is nothing but master dot guess. This was the function, the most precious function we have. Let's say we are not using it in a for loop. We are only using it in the main for loop. Yeah, in master dot guess, what we want to guess is we want to guess mini max dot first. We want to get the first word. So out of this pair, after the entire loop is over, this will have the minimum word with the minimum matches with zero, and this is the master match. This is done. So when it has int master match, master dot guess this. Now we want to eliminate all the words. So we have this array, this vector of string. What was the input? Is the word list also a vector string? Yes, the word list is also a vector string. Let's say call candidates. This is this vector of string, which is empty currently. But then what we could do is for string w in word list, right? If distance, if the distance of the word we are talking about right now, w, and uh, the word which we put it in here, mini max dot first, which is our guest candidate, if this word is not equal to if it's basically, let's say the other way, is equal to the master match, which means that it is equal to the matching with the secret, then and only then we are passing it to the next round. Then and only then we'll say candidates dot push back w, and once all of these candidates are pushed back, we just say that word list, the new word list is just the candidates for the entire iteration, right? And since it's a void function, I think we are done if you have not make any silly mistakes, which I'm sure we would have made. Okay. Okay, error void function distance. Okay, did I make the distance function void? I am very sorry. It returns an integer, which is the distance. Okay. The error, the naming error is wrong. Let's have mini max. Um, Oh, it's accepted, right? I am not able to see the output, but it is still accepted. And let's submit this. And if it's getting submitted, we it say that it's submitted and accepted. This is 28 milliseconds, faster than 7.55% of the online submissions. That does not what matters. Uh, we would know because this is just about strategy. You could have a much easier strategy here. You could have so this is not the most efficient strategy. This is O of n square. You could have an O of n strategy. You could just have an O of 1 strategy in which you don't do anything. You just randomly guess and you just go to that list and you just randomly guess it. That is also one possibility, but this is one of the most those questions where we respect the problem, we have a strategy, we just don't do it through this particular problem, we solve it for a class of problem. And here is where you actually saw how this minimax algorithm worked and we were able to get the solution, right? So this is, I remind you, just about strategy. It is just about strategy, right? So thank you so much for watching this, and now we are going to go to the math part, right? So welcome back. This is the math part of it, and hopefully I would reckon that a lot of you would have stayed to see the math part because this is actually really really important, and it will be useful not only for this problem but for a lot of problems in general. So we start with this analysis. We analyze this something called the guess probability. Guess probability. So let's say let px be the probability of master dot guess word to be x. Then what do we have? We have px to be this very simple expression. So what is this? This is 6 choose x. So whatever like x is, so what 6 choose x, 1 by 26 to the power x, 25 to the 20 by 26 minus 6 minus 6. We actually saw this happen, right? We actually saw the example, live example, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now if I want to have an exact match with all of them, like let's say if I don't want to have a match with all of them, all of these are 25 and we are done. But let's say if you want to do one match, then there is like 26 here and the rest all of them are 25, right? Rest all of them are 25. But the 26 could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, or it could be here. So total 26 to 25, but there are five more possibilities, or like there are six more possibilities actually, 26 here, 26 here. So it's like this times 6 is the answer to the question, right? So let's say we just have two. We want to have two matches. If we want to have two matches, what we have is we have 26, 26 a pair of 26, and the rest all of them are 25. So we know that we have 425s, but we have to adjust these 26 in these blanks. How many ways do you want to permute these 26? There are total in 6 blanks, there's 6C2. We want to permute two things and there are total 2 blanks. 6C2 possibilities of permuting these things, which will have 226 and 120, like 425s. Similarly, what if we have like x places which are we want to have 26, which we know we want to have a collision with x places, so that x26, so 26 26 at x places. And so basically how many of them are those? So 6 choose x is the number of places which are which they have, times how many 26 will be there, they'll be like x26 because you wanted to have x places with 26. How many 25 would be there? There'd be 6 minus x because there are total 6 places and 6 out of them, divided by 26 to the power 6. This always remains constant because there are 26 to the power 6 possibilities. So that is where all this expression comes from. You just read up this carefully. It's 6 like x, 1 upon 26 to the power x, 25 upon 26. So this is what we wanted and this is what we don't want. This is the 25s, right? So we realize that if you plug in 0, the probability of master dot guess word is equal to x is 79.3%, or like nearly 80%. So for any random word, master dot guess would be 0 is actually 79% chance that it is 0. For one match, the chances is 18.97%. For two matches, the chances is 1.90%. So pretty much very rare. Three matches, it's 0.10%, is less than 1%. For four matches, it is drastically low, 0.003%. Five matches, 0.85 to the 10 to the power minus 5. This is minuscule. And for six matches, it is 10 to the power minus 7. It means that if you randomly say that you have a word and what is the probability that it matches, all of them are correct, it's minuscule. You have no chance of getting that right. So this is the guess probability px. Now P of x means the probability of master dot guess word is equal to x, but we are not interested in how what is the probability of master of x is equal to. We are interested in the average percentage of elements which are kept in this each iteration, right? So what we want to do is that this is the mathematical part in which we are analyzing what if we don't use the minimax algorithm and what if we just randomly choose the elements, right? This is not just like that random that you just randomly choose an element and select it, but you are doing the approach to. If you remember the approach to, what was approach to? Approach to was this one. You pick a randomly, pass it to the guess function, store the output, eliminate all the words from the word list not to have the same match distance, and a smaller word list will happen, and you can repeat this. This is what is the approach which we are trying to analyze here, right? So for it, we say that p of x is, and for that approach, what we need to do is we. I just have a phone call. So I'm back from a quick call. And yes, so what is P of x? P of x means that the probability of master of x is equal to x, but we don't want that. We are interested in the average percentage of elements which are keeping in each iteration, right? We are taking randomly selecting it, we are matching it with the guess, we are calling the guess function, and then we are just keeping the ones which exactly match the x, right? So how many of them? So to determine that, what we need is uh, we need this f kept of x. What is this f kept of x? It is basically the probability of x matches from the random list of words. So how many out of the random list of words, what is the probability that there are x matches with the internally the x matches? So that is p of x, which we had the loop to do. And what is the probability of the master of guess? So once we have figured out that there is this probability x, like this is a certain probability, we then say eliminate everything with masters dot guess word of x. So that is also p of x. So f, now the fraction of the words which are kept is p of x times p of x, which is probability of x squared, right? The probability is not just 0 point something, it's this percentage probability which is given as 100%, right? So what we see is that the expected value of f kept, which means the average value of f kept over a long period of time, is nothing but the sum over the total sum of f kept upon 100. But then because we are normalizing everything, you don't need upon 100. So it's just f kept of 0 plus 1 plus 0, 6 and so on and so forth. So do you realize f kept is the fraction? If x is the master of guess, if x is the output, what is the fraction we keep, right? Which is what is the fraction we don't discard? So first, p of x is the probability of x matches from the entire random list of words, and then what is the probability that the master of guess, that is x, and that is p of x, right? This is e of x is expected or average expected percentage of each candidate, right? Because we assume that sometimes it will be 0, sometimes it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to understand the average scenario over all of them, because we are randomly picking them. We just need to keep the average scenario, so we just take the average of all of them, and that is the average number of the fraction which is kept after every round, right? So let's tabulate of the values of f kept. So p of x, we realize that what it was based upon the formula, and f kept is just the square of this. I just take the square of it, and this is 62%. So if the master or guess word is 0, totally randomly if we select, and the f kept person was 62.45. If there is the one match, then the number of the fraction kept is like 3.60. If there are two matches, then it is 0.03, and this is all some finite value, but it's very close to 0, so it's pretty much 0%. Right? Since total expected f kept is 66.05%. Right? What it means is that in expectation, know how we randomly pick a word and we just remove all of them which are not that, we have 66.05% of the original elements remaining, right? If there were like 100 elements, there are 66.05 remaining now. In the next iteration, 66.5% of that will go on. In the next iteration, 66.5% of that will be eliminated, right? So on and so forth, right? So let Tn be the average percentage of words remaining in the nth round, then we know that it's like initially there are 100 remaining, and then there's this percentage like 66.05. Like this point is not here, is the 66.05, 0.66.05 to the power n. That is the percentage after the nth round, right? So as we saw, like just ignore this decimal point. The formula for Tn, the average percentage of words remaining in the nth round, is just like first you take 66.05% of 100, then whatever the answer of that you take 66.05%, whatever the answer of that you take 66.05%, so on and so forth, right? And I have not made a table, but you can easily made a table to see how the probabilities work out, right? Now let qx be the probability that we can find the secret in the xth round, right? Then what do we realize? Then we realize that q of x is nothing but, you have to see this very carefully, you did not find it in the zeroth round, so t of 0 minus 1 upon t of 0. You did not find it in the first round, so t of 1 minus 1 upon t of 1, dot dot dot. You did not find it in the x round, t of x minus 1 upon t of x, but you found out in the x plus 1 round, so the current, like the round after that, so it's like 1 upon t of x plus 1. This is the probability that we can find the secret in the x round, right? And this is the t of n is given, right? So for example, you started with 100 elements. The probability that you are able to find this out in the first round is 1 upon t of 6, this 1 upon 100. So in the first, if you just guess in that is true, that is 1 upon 100, right? That works out. If let's say in the second round, if you are, so this is the first round, this first round is probability 1 upon 100, is just random guess. Second, the probability that you find out it in the second round is 99 upon 100. This is the 99 upon 100 because you were not able to find it out in the first round, and you are able to find it out in the second round. So what is the probability for second round? It's 66, like 65.05 upon, basically it's like, so it's like, now the second round is 1 upon 66.05. What is the probability that you are not able to, this is the first round, this is the second guess. What is the probability that you are not able to do it in the third round? Third would be very simply 99 upon 100. You are not able to figure it out in the first round. 99 possibilities, you are not able to figure it on the first round. 65.5 probability that you are not able to do it in the second round. This is total, because there are total 66.05, and then you did it in the first round. So this is 1 upon 66, basically 66.605% of 66.06. This will be 49 point something or whatever the, so on and so forth, right? So it's like you are not able to do it in the first round, so that is the total minus 1 upon the total, total minus the 1 upon the total, and 1 upon whatever round you are able to figure that out. So that is the formula here, and whatever round you are able to figure out. And hence finally the expected value of guessing correct after the x guess. So after the x guess, if you want to say expected value of correct, doing it after the x guess is the average until x, and we need to figure out the what is the value of correct 10. The correct value of correct 10 is 75.70%, which means that this strategy is able to figure out the best person, like the in 10 guesses with 75%, 75 or 76% accuracy. So in 76% of the arrays you give it, it will be able to figure out the actual, at average, it will be able to figure out the actual secret word, right? And that is not bad. Now when we use the minimax algorithm, what you actually do is you actually are shrinking this f kept to be even smaller, because you are not randomly guessing. This will not be the expectation. The expectation was the sum of all of those things. The f kept could be something like 3.60, it could be 0.03, and all of that, because you are actually searching which has the minimum matches with 0. So once you have the f kept is this was becoming large, so the percentage, this will become very small, and if tn becomes very small, the percentage here will increase drastically. So you can get near 100%, near 99%, 95% accuracy with a better estimation of f kept, right, with a strategy, right? So this was my explanation for the lead code hard problem number 843, guess the word. I know it could have been a bit like it was a bit mathy, it was a little bit maybe on the complex side, but overall this is what it is really interesting, and you can always come back, rewatch this video, rewatch everything, and see work with your math, once again look back at your probability concepts, because this is an amazing problem which taught us probability theory, taught us strategy, it taught us the fact that right answer is not what we want, we all want the right strategy to reach the right answer, right? So I think this is the video everybody had requested, and if there are any more clarifications or everything you want to ask, I am be very active on the comment section of this video, because I understand this is a really interesting problem. But if you're not able to understand the math for now, it's okay, just understand the actual concept. You can always come back and re-understand the math. Thank you so much.